Henderson. Henderson's a city in just outside of Auckland, and it's Thursday morning. It's a spectacular summer morning here, and I've got my cappuccino. I went back to cappuccino from the flat white. It's just really hit and miss when you order a flat white as to whether or not you're going to get a really good quality drink. So I'm back to the cappuccino, but anyway, I'm really glad to say that things with the woman who I mentioned, or promised I wouldn't mention her name, things are good with her. After a long talk, it's amazing what good communication can do in a relationship. I've always thought two of the more important parts of a good relationship is effective communication and mutual respect. I saw a quote yesterday from an older man who had been married 53 years, and somebody asked him, what's the key to a long, healthy, happy marriage? And he said 4 words: learn to be friends. So anyway, that's my quote for the day. Actually, it's not my quote for the day. The other quote that's been going through my mind was something that I've always had this. I don't know where, but at what point in time in my life. But the phrase "to travel the world at will," to travel the world at will. That's always been something that's circulated in my brain ever since I was a little kid. Growing up back in Euclid, Ohio, it was the idea of traveling the world at will, and that's pretty much what I'm doing, is living my dream of traveling the world at will. And as long as I can connect to the internet and I can, put in a good productive day's work, and I've got my place to sleep or whatever, I can pretty much travel the world at will. So speaking of traveling, it's interesting because yesterday I was saying that I sent out this email to all these bed and breakfast, and I just got off the phone with this woman. Her name is Sarah, and Sarah, she owns 3 properties, 3 vacation rentals, if you will, and I don't know, whether the stars have aligned or, my mom once said there's a little cloud over my head or it follows me or something. I forget how she said it, but this woman named Sarah has just basically given me accommodations for the next 2 weeks in New Zealand, and so tonight I'm picking up a rental car, and the woman that I promised I'd never mention her name, her and I are going to dinner at Tom Tom Restaurant in Auckland, kind of a last night farewell dinner. So we're going to, I don't know if it's farewell, but who knows. But anyway, we're going to dinner at Tom Tom Restaurant, appropriately so. That's where we had New Year's. So kind of started our trip at Tom Tom and ending our trip at Tom Tom. And I'm going to pick up a rental car in Auckland. And then tomorrow I'm going to head up to the Bay of Islands. And I'm going to do 3 days in the Bay of Islands. Come back on Monday, spend Monday night back here in Auckland. And then I'm going to head down to an area called Rotorua, and that is famous and just beautiful. I guess there's all types of geysers and thermal activity down there. So Rotorua is in the center, about 3 hours from here. And I'll be 2 nights staying at a farm stay in Rotorua on a beautiful lake, and that's one of the properties that's owned by this woman named Sarah. And then from there, I'm going to drive 4 hours down to Napier, Napier. And Napier is a very famous town. It's Art Deco. If you typed in like Art Deco town, New Zealand, or something like that, you'd find it. But I'm going to go spend a night in Napier. It's a town on the coast, very, very beautiful town, all in Art Deco style. And then from there, I'm driving down to Wellington. And Wellington is a seaside community. I believe it's the capital of New Zealand, and it's a very cozy little city. It's a lot of hills and little cafes right on the water. So I'm going to spend some time in Wellington. I'm spend the better part of a week in Wellington with Sarah, and I thought that she wanted websites for her 3 properties, but she doesn't. She just, today I talked to her on the phone, and she said she just wants me to spend like an hour a day consulting her. So, and then next week, at her, I guess next weekend, when I arrive in Wellington, Friday, that I guess her husband and her take off for the weekend. So, anyway, that's kind of an update as to the upcoming travels. So, I'm looking forward to doing some nice videos on this trip. You know, like I was playing around with the camera mounted on my car. My mom really loved that video with the music, and so did several other people, and including the woman whose name I promised I wouldn't mention. She just couldn't believe how nice it turned out. So she didn't think that I actually did that video. She thought it was like professionally done or something. But anyway, so that's enough for now. I got to get to work, and have a great day, okay? Bye-bye.